Mr. B, XRP, and welcome back. Sitting here with a hot cup of black Lavazza coffee, and it is amazing. If you've never had it and you like coffee, you need to try it. So look, it's going to be a huge week. I've got a lot to share with you this morning. Some of the things I'm going to touch on is it's a massive week for XRP this week, so we're going to talk about that. There are trillions about to come into crypto. I'm going to tell you what that catalyst is going to be. And also, while there's blood in the streets with the market coming down over the last several weeks, Wall Street has been cleaning up and making investments. So let's jump right into it and let's talk about it. First thing is the fear and greed index. It's up to 19, which means it's still an extreme fear, but it's less than it was. Right? We've seen it as low as single digits last week. So we're back up to 19. People are calming down a little bit. Bitcoin's sitting at 85,952. Ethereum's at $2,801. Tether's holding comfortably at $1. And XRP is at $2.06. So finally, we got back above $2. It happened sometime yesterday, and it's good to see us get over there because it wasn't a good scene being under $2. But glad to see that we are. Hey, James Rule has posted this multiple times. I think he keeps getting he keeps getting emails from someone who's trying to scam him, pretending to be Ledger. They're Ledger imposters. And look, this is just another chance for me to warn you about scams. My personal playbook when it comes to when it comes to scams and phishing attempts and things of that nature is I don't respond to any texts, any emails, or any telephone calls from any digital asset companies. I just don't respond to them. The only time I want to speak to those folks is when I engage them. So I would strongly encourage you to take that same principle because I know of far, far, far too many stories of people getting phished and smart people from the crypto space, very crypto native. That's why most every day I talk about iTrustCapital, guys. And listen, one of the things I don't stress about iTrustCapital, let me just say this, they give you institutional grade custody for your digital assets, whether you have an IRA account or not. So you can have an IRA account, you can have a regular account, which they call a premium custody account. You can buy and trade 24/7 in either account. In your IRA accounts, you can buy and sell and trade tax-free, which is amazing. But one of the things that I don't stress often enough, and I've been to their headquarters, is all of their support is US based. There are real humans there and you can call them on the phone. Imagine that. How many of your exchanges can you call on your phone? How many of your exchanges give you institutional grade custody? 0 and 0. So look, check out the folks at iTrustCapital. They're amazing. I have a link in the description of this video. If you'd be kind enough to use it, they will give you a $100 funding bonus. And don't wait. Just go get your digital assets in institutional grade custody. That's where they belong. Okay, look, let's start talking about the big news for the week. So Chad Steingraber posted this. We are go for launch, right? So Grayscale is going live today with their XRP ETF, and the ticker is GXRP. And we also know that Franklin Templeton is going live today, which is going to be really, really, really big. And let me jump over to here. So Chad had come up with some potential inflows for today, and I don't know how he came up with these numbers, but he thought Canary was going to do 5 million in XRP, Bitwise was going to be 5 million in XRP, Grayscale was going to do 25 million in XRP, and Franklin Templeton was going to do 15 million in XRP. I don't know why he's got Franklin Templeton at less than Grayscale. Franklin Templeton is a $1.6 trillion assets under management company. They're just absolutely massive. But I'm sure he did his homework, and we'll see where it plays out. But something that's going to help us all. I found this last night, and this is going to be great. It's going to help us all track how the XRP ETFs are doing. There's a new company. It's called XP Markets. So check them out on Twitter at XP Market. And it says XRP ETFs are heating up and many don't know how and where to track them. You can now track live XRP ETF volumes, detailed spot market pricing for every XRP linked project, full derivatives and leverage markets, careful with those, issuer launched queues with countdowns and institutional AUM exposure across major asset managers, plus historical volume analytics and category level breakdowns. So look, they have this killer site, okay? And it's at etf.xpmarket.com. And you can go here and you can look at the inflows of each XRP ETF. This is really, really, really cool. And I've got it sorted by spot ETFs only because I'm really not interested unless they're spot. And for those who don't know, spot means they actually have to be invested in XRP, which means the company buys the XRP and then they put together the ETF for the investor to invest in. But spot really, really matters because spot is spot causes them to have to go buy XRP on the public market. So this is really, really cool. I'm getting to learn my way around it, and I'll be sharing it more and more as time goes on. But we'll go ahead and see how Franklin Templeton does today and Grayscale does today, and maybe we'll take a look at that tomorrow, and we'll do some sort of an update. Okay, I also saw this, and it was from Well Insider. It said, just in, U.S. banks now sitting on $395 billion in unrealized losses as of Q2 of 2025. I mean, this is Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, Citi, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, JP Morgan. I mean, there is just so much debt in these banks. And what's interesting is, I talk about this all the time. I think banks and crypto companies are all becoming one, right? I don't think you'll be able to see the difference in the next couple of years between a bank and a crypto company. The only difference I can tell you is, I don't think crypto companies are losing money like banks are. I don't think they're in debt like banks are. I think they're doing a heck of a lot better. So hopefully, as they merge into one type of entity, they'll have a better business model that won't cause this to happen, because this is not a good sign for sure. This was from Jungle Inc., and this was interesting. As there's been blood in the streets in the crypto market, Wall Street's been pouncing and buying, and Jungle had posted this. Kathy Woods just went on a full-blown crypto buying spree. ARK Invest closed this week, loading the bags across major crypto names. Even as the ETFs bled nearly $1 billion in outflows yesterday, which was from Bitcoin and Ethereum mostly. Here's what ARK scooped up. They bought $2 million bullish across ARK. 830,000 in Bitmine, 250,000 in Circle, 200,000 in Robinhood, 600,000 in Bitcoin ETFs. This all happened while BTC was down 30% and blah, blah, blah. And let's see here. And then he says they're not slowing down. They did 10 million in Coinbase, 10 million in Bitmine, 9 million in Circle, 9.6 million in bullish. I don't even know what that means. 16.8 million in Nvidia and 6.8 million in Robinhood. So they are pouncing while the market was bleeding red, which is the way it goes, right? I mean, because the difference between a retail investor and Wall Street or an institutional investor is retail investors are swayed by their emotions, and institutions and Wall Street is not, right? They do the opposite of what retail does. And that's why they technically always do better. So you've got to remove that emotion, right? That's why we talk about that fear index. Whenever that fear index is high, I tell you, don't feel the fear, because that's what you're supposed to feel, and you're supposed to be a contrarian investor. A contrarian investor will do the opposite of what most people are doing, which will be the better thing. Keep that in mind. Okay, billionaire Michael Saylor explains why Bitcoin could drop 90% and strategy was still never sell. Here, let's hear some more crazy talk from Michael Saylor.
Where do you have to liquidate? Where do you have to liquidate any MSTR?
I don't think we're liquidating. Look, we have $8 billion of debt, and we have $65 to $70 billion.
$57 billion of equity today.
Yeah.
$8 billion in debt is a lot.
So in terms of Bitcoin would have to fall 90%
from here
for us to be sort of collateralized, to be one-on-one. At which point we probably would dilute the equity, and so it would be bad for the equity.
Dilute the equity because you would just issue more.
We'd have to sell more equity. We're not going to, but the point is we're never going to.
Wait. So they're going to create more shares? Isn't that why Bitcoin was created? Because they were tired of governments printing fiat. So essentially, he's just going to create more shares to solve the problem. Oh yeah, that's a great plan. By the way, you know, sarcasm included.
Liquidate.
Okay.
The equity is going to be a loser.
Yeah.
If Bitcoin fell to zero tomorrow forever,
Yeah.
then the bonds won't come. The bonds will default.
Yeah.
Right. But in 90% drawdown, we wouldn't default.
Yeah.
Right.
Seems
So if you think Bitcoin is going to go to 10,000, I think we're good. If you think Bitcoin's going to $1 tomorrow forever, then yeah, the bonds would default. But
yes, I was in a family.
That's like saying, you know, New York City sinks underneath the ocean. If you think that's happening, your New York City real estate bonds will go bad too.
You know, this is just once again a big bowl of crazy. I don't know how this is going to end well. I really don't. I mean, look, Bitcoin's drawdown on average on every crypto cycle has been about 84, 85%, very close to what he's saying would liquidate his company. For people that are investing in his company, those are scary numbers. And I think that he's going to see some real problems ahead. It's very, very frightening. All right. Billionaire Kevin O'Leary says, let's see what he says.
I love the idea of innovation. The money center banks have been sitting on their hands for years, crapping on the crypto industry, but it's not about Bitcoin. Nothing to do with Bitcoin. It's digital payment systems. That's the potential. That's the amazing opportunity we have here. Now, the reason that will be important and why we'll get price appreciation on Bitcoin is the minute that happens, it will signal the move to the next act, the Market Infrastructure Act. And why that matters to everybody in this room is we will finally determine, is Bitcoin a commodity or a security? And when that is determined and regulated, Katie bar the doors, $1 trillion will come and index that asset. Let's all hope that happens while we're all alive here. Anyways, thank you very much.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, clarity's coming, right? Congress is putting it together right now. I mean, he's suggesting $1 trillion is going to come in. I have no doubt, but it's not all coming in for Bitcoin, and I don't think there's been much. Look, the government hasn't come down on Bitcoin up to now as a security. In fact, the previous administration of the SEC has been very clear that Bitcoin wasn't, or they never directly said it wasn't a security. But I don't think that this is really, you know, the fact of whether or not Bitcoin is a security is really in play here. I just think we need market structure so that everyone knows what the rules are moving ahead. He's a triple smart guy, don't get me wrong, but yeah, I think trillions are coming in, but I don't think for that particular reason. I think just the market structure bill is what's going to drive everyone in to the market. XRP Las Vegas this year is April 30th to May 1st. If you've never been, you need to go. If you've been, you know you're coming back. Check it out, guys. Ripple is the main sponsor for XRP Las Vegas this year. It is going to be top shelf. I've been speaking with Brad Kimes about it, and it is really going to be over the top this year. It's going to be in the Paris Hotel, which is going to be super, super nice. And check it out. And I know, I will tell you this, the VIP tickets always sell out early. So if you want a VIP ticket, get them early. And then the after party tickets also sell out early. So if you're looking to go to the after party, it is always amazing, but get your tickets now, and you can go to xrplasvegas.com. All right, so that's it for this one. Hey, please subscribe to my channel. If you're still here and you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to my channel. You are officially one of my people. Share my videos with anybody you think might appreciate them. I am not a financial advisor. This video is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Always do your own research. See you next time. Bye-bye.